Hey y'all, Rick Sky here, and I want to talk about how to stay sane while quarantined. So more than likely, you've probably never been in a situation where you've had to remain in your home for multiple days. I know that I haven't. Now, I do have the luxury of being an only child, so I don't crave social interactions like a lot of people do. So I know people that have had a bunch of siblings. They are probably even having a tougher time than I am, because I'm used to being able to entertain myself. It's not a big deal. But with that being said, this quarantine has really it's easy to lose track of days. Days become weeks, and just the monotony of being in that same confined space it becomes a mental challenge. So some things I've done, and right now it's the weekend. Throughout the week, I run multiple professional pursuits. So weekdays I'm pretty much work. But on the weekends, especially during quarantine, I found things like this. While still socially distancing myself, I'm out in the middle of the wilderness. So I'm not interacting with others. I'm not touching objects that other people have touched. That includes signage that may be present in a wilderness area. Don't touch any of that. I'm not using restrooms at a wilderness area. But I am getting out of the quarantine, so I'm not in that same brick and mortar staring at the same paint colors. And I'm also getting fresh air. Something you should be aware of, though, especially this time of year. There's probably a lot of stuff blooming. So if you do decide to get out of quarantine, and again, not getting out of quarantine, but going directly from that quarantine location to the wilderness area, while interacting with no people, while touching no gas pumps. I mean, we're talking point A to point B, zero social interactions, or zero stops to touch anything. So something to be aware of, though, this time of year, there's, especially people that have allergies, there's a lot of stuff blooming. So if you do go out, and like today, for example, and I've had something, you can check out my videos. I don't know if I had the thing that's going around, but I had a severely sore throat, runny nose, fever, and all of that. But today I've got a lot of stuffiness in my head, and my expectation is that hopefully it's just all of the stuff that's blooming and it's allergy related. So don't let going out in the wilderness and becoming exposed to allergens make you assume that you got what's going around. And again, to be safe, assume that's what it is. This is no joke. I know a lot of people are taking it lightly. And despite the percentage of deaths, it's still a very dangerous thing. So definitely not something that should be joked about, definitely not something that should be taken lightly. But yeah, the best way to break up the monotony of quarantine is just on your days off, to be able to just go from point A, quarantine location, to point B, wilderness, without interacting with anyone, just to break the monotony of it. And supplement your real world interactions with social media interactions. If there's something like my YouTube channel, for example, is there a video topic that you're curious about? Comment below. Maybe it's something I'm familiar with, and maybe I can post a video. Just a way to virtually interact with others, to feel like you still have some sort of socialization in effect. And it's important to do that. And again, I mean, even people that are accustomed to being by themselves, and they're perfectly fine with that, when you're doing it for multiple days without any of those real world experiences, going to pick up something to eat, or going to a brick and mortar work site, when you do away with those things that were just kind of day-to-day tasks, when you do away with that, things are different, and it becomes a mind game. There's nothing. Quarantine is the best thing to do right now, because the only way we're going to expedite the resolution of this pandemic is for everybody to be responsible, regardless of political affiliation, for everyone to be responsible to self-quarantine and to help stop the spread of this virus. Because if we don't all cooperate, it's never going to go away. So it's super important. But with that being the case, I do realize that for some people, especially the socialites, the people that are crave socialization, they're going out to bars for drinks and this, that, and the other. For them to have to change that lifestyle to be completely isolated is it's tough. It's tougher for them than it is for people like myself that are fine with being entertaining themselves. But even, again, people like myself that are okay with entertaining themselves, it's still challenging. So, things like this, remaining socially distant, but getting out in the real world and experiencing nature, getting some fresh air, getting some sun, that vitamin D, super important. So what are you doing to break up the monotony of your self-quarantine? Comment below. I want to hear what you're doing. And, as a community, let's continue to interact. And, let's help each other pass time while we remain responsible, while we remain quarantined. And let's make this pandemic go away ASAP. It's gone on too long already. But if we don't all take action, if we don't all come together, regardless of political allegiance, if we don't all come together and do the responsible thing and self-quarantine, this is going to go on forever. Thanks for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/IRIX Guy. And ring that bell icon, and that'll notify you whenever I post another video. Hey y'all, Captain IRIX Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/IRIX Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.